This is the story of Noyo Watershed Restoration, the Kass Creek Story. Congressman Mike Thompson once said that wild salmon are to the rivers, watersheds, and oceans what the canary is to the coal mine. This video describes one success story playing out about coho salmon in Kass Creek. The Noyo River encompasses 113 square miles. Its watershed has supported anadromous coho salmon and steelhead fisheries, domestic and industrial water supplies, a myriad of wildlife, and over a century of logging. Salmon along California's north coast have returned to spawn in our coastal streams for more than 10,000 years. Salmon have sustained Native American tribes and later the European settlers, right up until the early 1950s, when their populations began to drastically decline. By the 1980s, coho salmon populations were listed as a threatened species and later an endangered one, signifying the threat of extinction. Ocean conditions hit an all-time low for salmon, with just 9 adult coho salmon returning from the ocean to spawn in Pudding Creek in the year 2010. In recent years, ocean conditions and watershed improvements have combined to welcome the return of some 300 coho salmon to Pudding Creek in 2013. Efforts like the Kass Creek story are playing out in many local watersheds, including here in the Noyo River. The first objective of the Kass Creek project was to replace a failing, undersized, log stringer bridge crossing that would renew access into 2.6 miles of spawning and rearing habitat. The second objective was to increase stream complexity, pool frequency, and winter rearing shelter by placing 90 log structures at 40 sites within the Kass Creek stream channel above this new bridge.
What this bridge site used to be is what's called a log stringer crossing. And what that is 2 large redwood logs running parallel to the stream, with a series of large redwood logs perpendicular to the stream on top, and then a bunch of dirt on top of that, which was the crossing and the road surface.
You can see that this thing was made by a bunch of old growth logs. We just used to dump the logs down. They're probably about 3 or 4 feet across, something like that, 5 feet across each one. Cable them together and then just pile tons of dirt on top. All from where that log is up to the top of the roadbed, there is all sediment. And what happens is, and what's happening now, is that the inner logs are rotting away, and as they do that, all the sediment just piles into the stream.
In the initial phase of logging in these stream systems, oftentimes the logging waste, which was rather large, was dumped in these stream systems, and it prevented adult fish from migrating upstream to spawn. At the time, it was considered to be the best management practice, and in many cases it was the best management practice to clear these streams of wood to allow fish to migrate upstream. But unfortunately, the pendulum swung a little bit too far in that direction, and not only did they clear the wood that allowed fish to pass, but they also cleared the wood that formed structure and pool habitat. The streams in this area flow rather rapidly and with much force. And when you deflect the force of the water from just a straight channel down into the gravel, those hydraulic forces pull the gravel away and move the gravel. And that creates holes, and that's how all pool habitat basically is made in stream channels.
Yeah, so my name's Chris Blunko. I'm a watershed manager and consulting forester here in Fort Bragg, and we are working out here on Kass Creek, 2.5 mile long reach, where we are installing large wood for primarily shelter and habitat improvement. This was a grant-funded project in cooperation with the landowner, Campbell Timberland Management, and the Fisheries Grant Restoration Proposal from California Department of Fish and Game. And we are employing a methodology that we've refined over the last several years called accelerated recruitment, which is essentially speeding up what would be the naturally occurring recruitment of wood into the stream. So this is a rubber-tired grapple skidder. It's traditionally used for logging operations and moving the logs from upslope to the woods down to the landing. However, in the hands of a capable and innovative operator, it can be used for a lot of other applications, including this large wood placement that we're doing out here on Kass Creek. Several advantages to this machine include the rubber tires themselves, minimizes disturbance to the project area. The grapple allows us to move wood within the project area very effectively and efficiently. It also allows us to do very non-traditional work with the machine, which includes what we call healing this log, where we're actually picking it clean up off the ground and are then able to place it into the creek with minimal disturbance to the bank, channel, and the general riparian area.
Noyo Watershed Alliance was formed in 2001 as a multi-stakeholder watershed committee comprised of the City of Fort Bragg, Salmon Restoration Association, and the 3 largest land managers practicing in the Noyo River watershed. These are Campbell Timberland Management, Mendocino Redwood Company, and Jackson Demonstration State Forest. Our mission is to enhance salmon habitat, improve water quality, and promote overall watershed health within the region's ecological and socio-economic contexts. The Noyo Watershed Alliance urges you to come forward with landscape and road-related problems you might share with our salmon and drinking water communities. This video shows an example of a crumbling road stream crossing and a channel without woody habitat structure. Other correctable problems on the landscape might include chronic gullying, stream bank erosion, highly turbid waters, poorly drained roads, or aggressively spreading weeds. Through joint efforts, Noyo Watershed Alliance may assist with a technical assessment and provide a landowner with a recipe that partners local restoration specialists and identifies appropriate funding sources. If you know of a place where restoration efforts might be needed, please contact us at www.noyoriver.org.
Back in 2008, a collaboration of folks submitted a proposal to the Department of Fish and Game Fisheries Restoration Grant Program. That was a partnership with Trout Unlimited, Campbell Timberland Management, Salmon Restoration Association, NOAA Fisheries, and the Noyo Watershed Alliance.
What are you laughing at?
Yoshi, her butt's wiggling and she's growling at the fish.
She's a total, if you see her like that, you know there's fish.